Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing a bit of a stream of consciousness, kind of board game rambling video of the other week. In the comments I got asked what type of gamer do I think I am? And so I started thinking about that a little bit. And today I just kind of wanted to explore that topic a little bit. And I would love to hear from everybody else what type of gamer you think you are. And because we're humans, we like to categorize ourselves, put ourselves in a certain topic or group, just for funsies. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and Eurogamers, solo gamers, whatever. So let's just explore that a little bit. This is going to be kind of just a all-over video, and I apologize for that. So first off, how about Eurogamers? Am I a Eurogamer? And if you watch my top 50 games of all time, that was littered with Eurogames all over. And Eurogames are, those dry, themeless, usually games that just are really good mechanically. They're mechanically sound, and they concentrate mostly on mechanics. And I love that about them. They are amazing games. That's why I like so many of them. But would I say I'm a Eurogamer? Probably not. Maybe early on I would say I probably was a Eurogamer, but I wouldn't categorize myself as a Eurogamer. So the opposite of Eurogames, the Amerithrash games, those themed games, those games that are just dripping with theme that usually have a bit of luck in them. And I love games that have a strong theme in them. But I also don't like games that concentrate or mostly are luck-based. I don't mind a little bit of luck here and there, but if it's like a 3.5 hour game, I probably don't want to play a game that's going to come down to a dice roll. That's just how I feel. But I do like Amerithrash games, but I'm not an Amerithrash player, I wouldn't say. How about card games? If you watch my collection video, you've seen I've got a whole shelf of card games. Just probably close to 100 different card games in my collection alone. And there's a couple reasons why I really like card games. First, they are usually pretty easy to get to the table, because card game usually only has like a rule book of 3 or 4 pages, so it's really easy to get those games to the table. A second reason why I like them so much is they're usually pretty high on strategy. Card management games. I love card management. I'm going to play this to play that to do this to this, and I just love that. So they're low complexity but high strategy. So that really works well for me. How about solo games? I just made my top 10 solo games. I love solo gaming. And that's kind of a recent thing within the last year and a half, 2 years kind of thing for me. And why solo games are so good to me is you don't have to depend on a group anymore. And they're just such a viable thing, and you can always break one out. Like if I call, hey Jeff, you wanna play games? No, he's got to work, or Dwayne's got his kids, or whatever. Everybody's busy all the time, so you can't depend on people. And solo games let you play games when others aren't around. But I wouldn't say I'm a solo gamer, because I prefer playing games with other people. But I do say probably 50% of my plays now are solo games. But I wouldn't consider myself a solo gamer. Family games. Do I like family games? I like them. They're good. But they might be some of my favorite experiences in board gaming, because I've got a son and nephew who I play board games with a lot, and these games they're pretty good, decent games, but I have such a fun time with them because it's sharing my favorite hobby with my son and my nephew, and even on occasion my sisters or my parents on even rarer occasions. But sharing my favorite hobby with my son is one of my favorite experiences in board gaming altogether. How about party games? This is one category. This is probably my least favorite category of games, is party games. If you ask me to play a party game, though, I will say yes, because any game, anytime, anywhere, kind of my motto. But I don't necessarily like party games that much. When I think of party games, I think of, those judge games, those apples to apples, Cards Against Humanity. I don't enjoy them necessarily that much. But if you ask me to play a party game, I'll play it with you. No questions. How about light games and medium games, heavy games? Which do I prefer? When I first started out gaming, I started out, light to medium, and then I worked my way into heavy games. And I was constantly getting heavy games. I wasn't playing any light games for a while. It was all these heavy games. And I do like heavy games quite a bit. But there's one problem with them. If you have a game group, it's very group dependent, I think, heavy games are. Because these heavy games, they might take an hour to teach or something like that, half an hour to teach. They're just, it's got a barrier to them to get to the enjoyment of actually playing the game. And especially if you're not playing that game a lot and having to revisit, relearning, and teaching everybody all over again, that's the barrier to those games. Oh, sorry if you can hear the lawnmower outside as well. But yeah, heavy games are great games, but the problem is they don't get to the table that often in a large game group, for me at least. Light games are good because of the opposite of heavy games is you can bring them to a group and teach them in 5 minutes, and you're not always having to concentrate on helping others, make sure they're following the rules or teaching them and everything, because 5 minutes in, everybody knows exactly what to do, it's just an easy experience, and that is also enjoyable. And medium would just fall in between there as well. So yeah, medium games just are good in between games. If you don't want to play a light game, you don't want to play a heavy game. So I don't think I have a preference anymore for those. So that's out. So what type of gamer am I? And then I would just say I'm an omni gamer. I'll play any game with anyone. If you just ask me to play that game, I'll play it with you. There's no question about it. And I don't think I have favorites of anymore. I would say I used to be a heavy Euro game player, but now it's just, you ask me to play a game, I'll play it. I don't care if it's Exploding Kittens or if it's Brass Birmingham. I'll play it either way. But I would like to hear from you guys. What type of gamer do you think you are? What kind of category do you fall under for that? Are you an omni gamer as well, or do you kind of stick with a certain category with your game group? But I think that will wrap up this video. So I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to comment below what your thoughts are on this. And I hope you all have an amazing day, and take care, everyone.